Friday, February 15th, 2019, the DC Universe dropped the first episode of Doom Patrol. Boy, was it good. I really enjoyed it. DC did a real good job on the continuing building of the world that we got a taste of in Titans and fleshing out the details of the world in which the characters from Doom Patrol are inhabiting. This episode mainly focused on Robot Man and Crazy Jane. I have a feeling that later shows will probably give Negative Man, Elasti-Girl, and the Chief their moment in the spotlight. But this episode did a really good job on highlighting your two main leaders, with Robot Man emerging as your de facto leader and Crazy Jane being the daughter figure to him, and also possibly the number two person within this organization. The show, like I said, it does a real good job of mixing lighthearted comedy with very dark subject matter without going full-blown dark comedy. I believe all the actors and actresses that have been cast for their respective parts have done a really good job. Timothy Dalton really surprised me, and at the same time didn't surprise me. I mean, let's face it, he held his own against Katharine Hepburn in Lion and Winter. So, he's not a scrub of an actor, but he did a real good job in this. Brendan Fraser's Robot Man really did a really good job. What stuck me on the show was the opening narration. The start, it just hits you. Plus, in the narration of the story, the show doesn't take itself seriously. It's like I said, it's lighthearted, and it deals with some very dark subjects. It does some very adult subjects. In fact, what I'm going to let you see is the hook that hooked me into the show. It's like the first 10-15 seconds of the show right after the opening credits, and it just hooked me in that. It just boom, right there it is. So without further ado, here we go.
Ready for a story about superheroes? More TV superheroes, just what the world needs. Be honest, have you hung yourself yet?
How do you not like a show like that? I mean, it just jumps in there. It's in your face. It's not taking itself seriously. The show is taking itself and the entire superhero movies, TVs, it's just putting it out there, going, hi, like I said, it's just there. And there's another little bit of the show that just tickles my fancy. It's when they're introducing the character, Brendan Fraser's character of Cliff Steele, before he becomes Robot Man, and the fact that he is an adulterous lech. It's hilarious. The narration and the fact, one of the things that I really like is the narration is being done by the villain. It's not being done by one of your heroes or, a third party narrator. It's being narrated by the villain of the show. And, and it's just something, kind of just circumvents all of your expectations of who's telling the story, why the story's getting told. And this next bit I'm going to share is just really interesting. Just the lightheartedness of how the villain perceives the good guys, and or what become your good guys, and it's hilarious. I better let you watch it, because it is just better seen than to try to explain it to you.
And now to the 1980s. Somewhere in this abomination of Goshen blow is a pale white ass pumping up and down. The ass of a hero. No, not that ass. No.
Giselle? Giselle!
There it is. Smells like hero to me.
Like I said, this show does not take itself seriously. Like I said, there's some good storytelling. There's some good plot points. There's some very, very good character interaction, character building. It touches on the origins of all of the Doom Patrol except the Chief. It goes, like I said, it spends most of the show on doing the origin story for Robot Man. You get a lot of interaction between Crazy Jane and Robot Man, and it's building that relationship. I kind of see that maybe bleeding over into episode 2. Maybe not. It's just the preview I've seen for episode 2 may or may not. I would like to see them resolve the stuff from episode 1, and hopefully maybe they may go into more detail on Crazy Jane's origin. They mention her being a lab experiment in passing. They don't spend as much time on it as they do with Elasti-Girl or even Negative Man. They don't spend, like I said, it on her. They may devote a whole episode to her, because the possibilities, if that character is written well, there are possibilities, and you may not be able to fit her origin story into, the span of 8 or 10 minutes over an episode. So, I'm looking forward for that. I'm looking forward to a lot of things in the show. But getting back, before I get ahead of myself, to the fact that the show doesn't take itself seriously. In fact, the show, I want to share a little bit with you from the show, in which they take an all-out stab at critics, and it's great. It's just the way it does. It's very organic, and I mean, man, they just do give a real good stick into the TV critics and how things are done like that. So I'll share that bit with you, and we'll come back on the other side and wrap up this review.
Pictures.
Lovely Rita. Queen of 50s cinema. Some critics called her the poor man's Deborah Kerr. Some critics called her the rich man's Yvette Vickers. Critics, what do they know? They're gonna hate this show.
If you want a show that doesn't take itself seriously, but at the same time is capable of telling a good story. Um, this is a show it's worth watching. There's great world building. The mythos is there, and you've got the possible crossing over between them and Titans back and forth over multiple seasons. It said this show is a hoot. It is funny. It is serious. It is dark. It is lighthearted. I just hope that they can keep up the quality of this pilot. This premiere episode 1, throughout the season. There are a few things that I'm not really hip on, but if they maintain this quality of storytelling, they're going to be minor problems. One is the reworking the origin of Cyborg. I prefer the whole mother box blending human thing, but that's me. That's what I'm used to, and I do want to see how they're going to revamp it for this story, and I hope they do a good job. It's just I am partial to the Cyborg origin from Titan, or the comic Titans, and the JLA and JLU cartoons. So I want to see how they do that. And the other thing that I'm not real big on is this show, like Titans, is written and set up to be binge watched. It's designed to watch show after show after show. But they're dropping one show a week for a total of 15 weeks. So we got 14 more weeks before we have the whole season. And once again, if they maintain the quality of storytelling that this first episode has, it's not going to be a big deal. Now, if the storytelling hits the shitter, I may be doing another video, but I will probably do another video about midpoint in the season, around 6, 7, maybe even 8 right in there, recap the season to that point. But I really don't see doing a video for every episode simply because I don't have the time. I still got to finish out my critique or review of Wizards. I still got 2 parts, maybe 3 parts on that I haven't had time to do. And I will be trying to get back to that when I have time. But it is what it is, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope Doom Patrol is something you want to go out and check out. It is really worth it. It's a very well done story. Until next time, peace.